Hi, I'm Quinn and I'm autistic. Welcome to Autistic. The internet is chock-a-block with information about autism, but only a tiny proportion of it has been written by autistic people. Much of it has been copied and pasted and endlessly rewritten from the same tired old sources. The overwhelming majority is written about us by people who don't imagine that an autistic person may read it and have something to say about it. Autistic voices have spent decades trying to be heard over the constant babble of everything from well-meaning charities to self-serving business interests. Much of what we do as autistic advocates and content creators is to refute that damaging narrative and replace it with what we've learned from talking to each other, sharing our experiences, and developing informed theories as to how and why autistic people are different from the majority. Slowly, we're guiding our societies towards seeing autistic life for what it really is, instead of the doom-laden tragedy so often talked about in the media by non-autistic interventionists and by the multi-billion-dollar business interests that profit from stoking fear. This is the first episode in a series which aims to explain the world of autism and being autistic in short, easy-to-digest chunks, not by referring to the same old bad science you see dredged up in the media, but purely from what we've learned about ourselves from our peers, other autistic people. So, to get the ball rolling, let's talk about autism itself. Autism is a word invented by a non-autistic person based on a fundamental misunderstanding of what we now know about ourselves as autistic people. Autistic brains work slightly differently to those of the neurotypical people who make up the majority of society. These differences are not necessarily disabling in and of themselves, but the unwillingness of wider society to acknowledge and make allowances for these differences is the most significant factor making autistic lives more difficult than they should be. Some autistic people also have intellectual disabilities, learning disabilities, or medical conditions like epilepsy, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and digestive problems. However, these are not symptoms or traits of being autistic, and are treated separately as co-occurring conditions. None of them are exclusive to autistic people, and successful treatments targeting them specifically can improve our quality of life just as much as they would for non-autistic people. There are three key areas which distinguish autistic minds from the average. The first of these is in the way our senses work. Most autistic people sense the world around us and the feedback from our bodies in a manner which may be heightened or lessened compared to the neurotypical people around us. We may hear sounds more loudly, see colours more vividly, or recognise subtleties of scent, flavour or texture that others don't perceive. On the other hand, we might be less sensitive to some things as well. These sensory differences may be very specific too. It might not be that our hearing is especially sensitive overall, but we have a particular acuity for the subtleties of music, speech, or the sounds of nature. We might be less aware of biological odours like the smells of food, decay and animals, but be hypervigilant to chemical smells like ammonia and chlorine. Every autistic person's sensory world is unique to themselves. The way we feel and process emotions can be quite distinct from our neurotypical companions. Autistic emotional responses, like our sensory responses, can be more acute and intense, which can be a surprise to some of the people around us when, by their standards, we appear to be over-emotional or to have taken something personally. Sometimes our emotional responses may be less powerful than others expect, which might seem thoughtless or flippant. About half of us find it difficult to explain our emotions in terms that other people can understand, or take a while to fully work out our emotional state in the moment. Some of us also find that really overwhelming emotions aren't experienced in the moment. They get stashed away to be released later, which could be in the form of depression, shutting down, or an explosive meltdown. Even positive emotions like excitement or joy might be delayed and released in the same way. The third and final difference is veracity. Most autistic people are highly committed to truth, candour, and the logical solutions that stem from them. We don't feel comfortable telling or being told lies, however innocent or well-intentioned some of them might seem to non-autistic people. If an autistic person catches someone in a lie, even a relatively trivial one, it can be very damaging to their relationship. Being honest extends to being candid or unwilling to hide relevant information. Some of us find demands to hide or suppress the truth can be not only emotionally unsettling, but a source of physical pain, which neurotypical people find difficult to relate to. When you talk to an autistic person, we'll often convey more information than you expect, because we see it all as relevant to the point or subject under discussion. The need for truth can lead us to be quite logical and systematic in our approach to life, and promote us to build an encyclopedic understanding of things that interest us. Our desire for truth extends to a preference for logical cause and effect solutions to problems, and a need for consistency, things which are frequently absent in the chaos of the modern world. There are many different traits associated with being autistic, but all of them can be traced in whole or in part to one or more of this triad of distinction. Someone who's autistic likely senses the world differently from you, responds emotionally in their own way, and needs you to be consistent, truthful and logical for them to be able to trust you and believe what you say. Autistic people do often behave or respond in a way which non-autistic people don't understand. But when we get together, we understand each other well enough. It doesn't mean we agree on everything, but we do at least have a better chance of understanding how another autistic person came to hold a particular opinion or chose a specific course of action. If you want to understand why an autistic person might behave in a way you don't expect, you need to understand the sensory environment, the emotional stimulus, and the logical truth behind it. It might not make sense to you at first, but there is sense there if you look for it and take the time to listen. Thank you for watching. New Autismatic content comes out every Wednesday, and if you don't want to miss any and help us reach more people, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like on the video, and comment if you found it interesting. You can make an even bigger difference by supporting us on Patreon or picking up some exclusive Autismatic merch.